Brooklyn, new. Click the edit, raise me with a siren, sing lullabies. Through conversations taught me truth before the books got wise. Corner store confessions, dollar chips and broken dreams. With a block could turn a halo to a hustle overnight, it seems. I seen prayers scribbled on the back of late notices. Mama's faith iron, hoping to my jeans like it was sewn in this. Cold winters, high tempers, short fuses, long nights. I learned early God don't flinch when the odds bite. I was walking with a pavement, knew my government. Cracks in the sidewalk, matching cracks in my confidence. They said the city don't love you, it uses you. But God met me in the grime and said I still choose you. I speak fluent survival, my tongue got a borough accent. Every bar carry weight like the cross when it's balanced. I don't rap to escape, I rap to document how grace pulled me out the chokehold, consequences sin. See, I was dancing with wolves, but heaven kept watch. Angels double parked outside the trap spot when my name was one bad choice. From a mugshot frame, he rerouted my steps, then reroute my pain. That's Brooklyn theology, learned it in hallways where the elevator smelled like regretted no bouquets. I watched queens turn losses into legacies and kings fold under pressure, chasing temporary thrones impressively. I rhyme with intention, every sentence got breath. I ain't chasing applause, I survived being left when silence was loud and the nights talk back. God whispered purpose when my post lost track. I studied the grace, lessons hidden in rhythm, where the truth hit harder than the kick in the snare system. Precision in thought, elevation in speech. If I say it, I mean it, I don't reach. From mossy echoes to thoughts, mental gym. I learn intellect, move crowds quicker than rims. And Big taught me vision, paint scenes with your voice. So when I speak of redemption, you can hear the choice. I changed lanes mid-sentence, no signal, no pause. Faith gave me range, not just punchlines and flaws. One breath, I'm effective, next breath, I'm sharp. Scripture in the marrow, city in the heart. I was baptized by fire, escapes and stairwells. Learned heaven got Wi-Fi in the deepest hells. When my prayers bounced back like checks insufficient, God covered defeat, called it divine assistance. I done seen hunger teach patience better than sermons. Empty fridge, full face, that's a Brooklyn discernment. We didn't have much, but we had belief, and God stretched meals the same way he stretched me. Now I walk with authority, not arrogance though. Confidence clean when you know where you grow. I don't erase the scars, I reference them. Testimony heavy like the borough's rent. I speak for the girls who had to grow up fast, who learned strength early, cause softness didn't last. God didn't make me hard, he made me solid. There's a difference when your spirit ain't rotted. I don't flex for the cameras, I move with intent. Every step sanctified, every word heaven sent. If I'm here, it's purpose. If I'm loud, it's praise. If I pause, it's respect for the process and the days. I seen fake guys fall with a chain snap sound. Seen real faith lift folks when they face planted ground. I don't sell miracles, I live proof. From cracked concrete roots to unshakable truth. So when I rap, it's scripture stitched in street slang. A Brooklyn song with a boom bap bang. God didn't just save me, he sharpened my sight. Turned my struggle into structure, my wrongs into right. I stand here clean, no halo cosplay. Just a woman from the borough who found a way. And every bar testify, every verse confess that grace got hands and it knows my address.
Good evening, people. Good evening. While I finish getting this stuff set up, hope y'all feeling good this evening. Hope y'all have a good evening tonight. This is Bible Study Recap. I'm ready to get this Bible up here for y'all so y'all can see. There we go. Alright. Bible is up there. So, we're doing another parable. We almost done the parables. We got I think we got one more parable. If I'm not mistaken, we got one more parable to do. We got one more parable to do, and then we're done. 14. Alright. Yeah, we got one more parable to do, then we're done. This parable that I'm bringing up now is from the first lady of the church. From the first lady of the church, and her parable was the parable of the talents. This one was good. This one was good. You know, open eyes to a lot of different things, and with Q&A really wasn't really a Q&A. Like, so a couple of us had questions. I think me and somebody else had questions, but the Q&A part was more like a testimony part. You know, we was it was a lot of expressing themselves and getting clarity and understanding and stuff. So yeah, we who was that? My mama in the building. Shouts out to my mama. My mama just got in here. So yeah, we had a lot of healthy releasing. You know, people getting stuff that they was bottling up off, and yeah, it was it was a good Bible study. It was a good Bible study last night. Um, let's go ahead and start. Let's go ahead and start. Get into this. Into what we learned last night, and what we talked about. Yeah, I finally found my glasses. Ebony was hiding them from me, but excuse me. All right. So we're going into Matthew 25, going from verse 14 to verse 30. And this is the parable of the talents. All right. So verse 14. For the kingdom of heaven is like a man traveling to a far country, who has called his own servants and delivered his goods to them. And to one he gave 5 talents, to the other two, and to the other one, to the other one, to each according to his own ability. And immediately he went on a journey. Then who had received 5 talents went and traded them and made another 5 talents. And likewise, he who he who had received two gained 2 more. But he who had received one went and dug in the ground and hid his Lord's money. After a long time, the Lord of those servants came and settled accounts with them. He also, he who had received 5 talents, came and brought 5 other talents, saying, Lord, you delivered to me 5 talents. Look, I've gained 5 more talents besides them. His Lord said to him, well done, good and faithful servant. You were faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler over many things. Enter into enter into the joy of the Lord. He he who also had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, you delivered to me 2 talents. Look, I have gained 2 more talents besides them. His Lord said to him, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of the Lord, of your Lord. Then he who had received 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew you would be a hard man, reaping where you have not sown, and gathered where you have not scattered seed. And I was afraid and went hid your talent in the ground. Look, there you have what is yours. But the Lord answered and said to him, you wicked and lazy servant. You knew that I reap. You knew you knew that I reap where I have not sown, and gathered where I have not scattered seed. So you ought to have deposited my money with the bankers, and at my coming I would have received back my own with interest. Therefore the talent from therefore take the talent from him and give it to him who has 10 talents. For to everyone who has more will be given, and he who have abundance. But from him who does not have, even what he has will be taken away. And cast the unprofitable servant into the outer darkness. There will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Okay, so whew, this one was crazy. This one was crazy, and it was good to understand as well. Um, first first thing first thing we need to do, of course, we need to identify the characters. All right, so with these characters we have of course we have the Lord. Boom. So we don't really need to characterize him, but then we have the first servant, the second servant, and the third servant. Then we have what they refer to as the talents. Okay? Um and I think that's excuse me. I think that's it. Okay. Oh, and the outer darkness. The outer darkness. Okay, so we know who the Lord is. The Lord is God. All right. Um, the servants, the first servant, second servant, and third servant. We can sum them up as being the people, the ones who are of God. The, the talents. So the talents is money, but also talents could be referred to as skills. Okay, and then the outer darkness, that's hell. All right. So now we understand the characters in this story. Let's get to what's going on in this story. Okay. So boom, we have the Lord. The Lord the Lord gave each individual their own set of talents. We had one that had five, we had one that had two, we had one that had one. What's going on, brother Soap is in the building. How you feeling? How you feeling this evening? We're going over the parable of the talents. You right on time too. You right on time. We're going over the parable of the talents. We um we just identified the characters. The characters. The first character is the Lord, which is God, and then we have the three servants. We have the first servant, the second one, and the third one. Each servant received um their own talents. The first one received five, the second one received two, and the third one received one. So the talents in this passage, the talents is talking about money, but we're gonna also refer to the talents as skills. Okay, okay. All right, that's cool. I definitely appreciate it. Um, and then we got the outer darkness, which is hell. So now 14. For the kingdom of heaven is like a man traveling to a far country, who called his servants and delivered his goods to them. Okay? So we know the kingdom of heaven is not on this plane right now. It's not something you can go to the airport, get a Spirit ticket, or get a Southwest ticket and fly to you. We know that. Um, this is something that requires us to believe, have faith, and do our works, do our good works and stuff. Um, do our good works. Um, be obedient, be have humility, be humble. It's a lot of different things that go into it, right? But he's he gives us, and I covered this on I think it was faith and growth. I covered this on faith and growth, that God credit his people. He opens an account with his people and he gives his people credit. He gives his people credit. And with him giving people credit, he credited these people five talents, two talents, and one talent. Okay? So the first person, knowing that he received credit from the Lord, went out and he built more credit, which was he gained more talents. Um, the second person did the same thing, but the third person didn't. The third person didn't. So the first two had faith in the Lord that he was going to come back, and that he didn't that those two didn't waste or squander what the Lord has given to them. Okay? They made use of their talents faithfully, knowing that one day, you know, the Lord was going to come back for them. Um, the third person had lack of faith. The third person had lack of faith, and if we put down faith, and then we do the opposite of faith. The opposite of faith is fear. So he did the opposite of faith. He had fear. His fear his fear was because he didn't I would say the lack of knowledge, the lack of belief, the lack of faith that he would be able to do what the other two did. Not only that, not only that, he took for granted he took for granted the abilities that he had, the skills that he had, the money that he had. He took for granted why the Lord had gave him that. Um, Now when we look at when we look at the first one did what he was supposed to do. The Lord told him he called him a good and faithful servant. Okay, he was good. He was faithful. He commended him. He said, "Well done." The second one, the same thing. Now, when we look back to when we look back to Romans chapter 5, uh what was it? Romans chapter 5. Romans chapter 5 verse 1. So let me pull that up. Let me pull that up cuz I'm going somewhere with this. Romans chapter 5 verse 1. And it says therefore being justified by faith we have peace with God. We have peace with God through our Lord Jesus Christ. Okay? So, the second verse, through whom also we have access by faith into this grace in which we stand and rejoice in hope of the glory of God. Okay? So, why I brought that up is because one, I mentioned that God was a creditor, and he gives credit to his people. So with his credit that he gave to these three people was the talents. Now these people were supposed to have faith that the Lord was going to come back and settle that account. This is what it's saying when we go down to when we go down to verse 19. We go down to verse 19. It says, after a long time, the Lord of those servants came and settled accounts with them. Okay? So, when we open up credit, we build up our account. We gain more credit by the stuff that we do, which is purchase something and pay it off within a certain amount of time, showing that we can balance the credit and stuff like that, and then our credit score goes up. Okay, this is what the servants was doing. The servants understood that, okay, the Lord gave me credit, that I will now have to manage this credit. Okay, I will have to manage this credit, and then on top of that, I gotta figure out how to gain my credit, to get my credit score up. Also on top of that, I know that now that the Lord gave me this credit, He will come back to settle my account. So when they came back, the two servants, the one that had five and the one that had two, both doubled their account. One gained five more, the other one gained two more. But the one didn't. The one went into debt because his lack of faith, his lack of being able to manage what was given to him. Now, I'm saying it like that. I'm saying it like that for a reason. When when the Lord gives us something, gives us an ability, and the reason why I put for talents money slash skills, we're anointed certain things. Me doing this right here and speaking and building this platform the way I'm doing, this is me being anointed with a skill. I can either I can either use this skill the wrong way or I can use it the right way. We are gifted certain things and we are to use those things properly. Um one it could be and we're gonna use like church for an example. Okay, you go to church, you do you're good at the usher, whatever, but you don't take it serious. You don't sometimes you want to do it, sometimes you don't. Another thing, you're a good speaker, but you don't want to get up there and you don't want to read scriptures and nothing like that. Those are talents that you're wasting. Those are talents that you're not putting your all into, which would be like the third one. He was a he was afraid. Hold on, Smitty. I got you. He was afraid that that he was afraid of the abilities, and didn't have the faith in himself that he would be able to do nothing with it. So what he did was what Jesus tells us not to do, which is he took the word and he hid it. He hid the word from the world. And it goes to show, that not everybody is gonna be able to do this, and some people just don't have don't have it in them. It just some people just don't have it in them. Yes, he called them a wicked servant, wicked and lazy, because he didn't take what was given to him and put forth use. Okay, the use, he missed his opportunity to put forth the use of those abilities that was given to him. And with him doing that, the Lord took it away from him. The Lord took that away from him. So it's mm, faith is in us. It's something that we it's something that we gotta have. It's nothing that can be purchased. It's something that you gotta be able to do without being pushed or without, I mean, um I like to refer to it as in like medicine terms. You can't go to the pharmacy and purchase a 800 milligram tablet of faith. It's just something that's in you or not in you. What's going on, brother Smitty? How you feeling?
I am I'm actually feeling a lot better than usual.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
I yeah, man. I appreciate you pulling me up. I don't know exactly where you are in this, but I just wanted to come through, be of some support, you know what I'm saying? Speak about the good word with you and just learn some things and see where we are.
All right, we're covering right now. We're covering what we learned in Bible study, the parable of the talents. So, with this parable of the talents, the Lord gave three people. The Lord gave three people a set of their own talents. Talents being like money, some like gold coins or whatever. Um, he gave one servant five. He gave the other servant two, and he gave the other one
Hmm.
one. The first two servants doubled their talents. So then the last one was afraid and went and hid his talent. When the Lord came back to collect to settle the account with them, the one showed him, look, Lord, you gave me five, I made five more. The second one the second one said, look, Lord, you gave me two, I made two more. The last one said, oh, I know you're a hard ruler, and you're a hard man, and um reaping where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered. And I was afraid and went and hid your talent in the ground. Look there, you have what's yours. Um so the Lord response to him was you're wicked and lazy. You knew that I reap where I have not sown, and I gather uh where I have not scattered. So you would basically, like, you should have just went and deposited that money in the bank, and with you doing that,
Hmm.
I would have received that money back with interest, which means you would have doubled it.
Hmm.
Um then he tells him, give what I have gave you to the one with the 10 talents, and now that you did that, I'm gonna cast you into the outer darkness. There will be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Oh, I see.
So so I was what I'm still like in the first part, in like the first part of it. um
Hmm.
what I was explaining to the people is that the God is a creditor. Okay,
Yes.
he's a
Yes.
creditor, and he gives us a line of credit,
Hmm.
and each one of us have a line of credit that we will be accounted for.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so with these two was able to understand that they was given a credit. They understand that they have an account, and that they must double their account, or not only double their account, but they must build their credit up. They must build their credit. So what they did was they took that faith that the Lord was going to come back and settle the account, and they made use of their talents. Now, when I'm saying when how I'm speaking of talents in this fashion is not talents of money, even though in here they're talking about money. Is the talents is referring to money. I'm not speaking of the talents as money. I'm speaking of the talents as your abilities, as your skills. So so the Lord, and I'm just gonna use you as an example so that you can understand what I'm meaning by this. The Lord gave you a credit line. You have an account with the Lord. The Lord gave you the ability to form words, to make words rhyme, and to make words rhyme and make sense. How you use your words is dependent on your abilities. Now, you can choose to use your words to bring down people and stray people away, or you can use your words to uplift people and bring people closer to the Lord. I'm saying this because I know that you know how to rap. Are you using your words to tear down people? I'm a shoot a person. I'm a kill them. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna slide on the ops, which is leading your people into sin, or are you using your words to let people know, yes, I overcame these things. This is how I got through. The Lord is with me, and you're bringing people back to uh God and Jesus with your lyrics. So I'm hoping I'm getting you to understand how the talents was being used.
Mm. So so when it comes to basically it's like I gave you a gift. I gave you something to what lead the people in. If you use it in this wrong manner, like I mean, I don't know. Could we possibly say that for the giants, like they were given amongst powers the Nephilim, and they used it in the wrong way,
There you
and
go.
they could have used their strength and size to benefit humanity, but except it was used for tyranny and cannibalism.
All right, I like that.
I
That's
mean, I was just, trying to give an example of, I think I
that's a
know where
good
you're going. Yeah.
that's a good example.
Hmm.
They was gifted something, and instead of leading people back to the word, leading people back to God, they chose to be wicked with them. And this
Hmm.
this is kind of why he referred to the third one as being wicked and lazy, because you had, even though you had one talent, it didn't mean that you couldn't do something with it. You chose not to do something with it because you was afraid. You was afraid, and two, you had lack of faith. Your faith wasn't where it needed to be at. And with that, what he did was he hid the word from the people. It's just like me knowing. All right, so, and I'm using myself as an example, knowing that I can understand what's being given in this book, then not going and giving that word out to other people, and I'm just taking this book and I'm keeping it all to myself and not sharing the knowledge, even though I know you, Smitty, you're going through so much stuff, and I can see what you're going through, and I have the knowledge to teach you, or to help you get out of that rut. I take all those abilities that the Lord gave me, and I hid that to myself. I
Hmm.
hid that to myself, and then I'm using. I'm like, well, and then then when the Lord come back, he asked me what I've done. I'm like, well, I did keep your word, and I held on to your word, and I praised you and stuff to myself, but you didn't go find nobody else that you can bring out of that rut. You didn't go minister to nobody else and bring them back to the Lord. You ain't helped nobody. You ain't got nobody back to the altars to reconcile their life or to help them get saved. You didn't do that.
Mm,
So now you're lazy. You're wicked because you keeping all that to yourself.
hmm.
And then you're trying to tell me that you was being a good servant. You just like, no, that's not how it works. With these abilities and the stuff that we learn in here, we gotta teach other people as well. And this is why I referred it to skills and abilities and not just money sense.
Right. Right. I get you. Hmm.
So so
Okay.
so
But
go ahead.
nah, this is what I wanted to know. So the money skills,
Hmm.
it's not the same.
Yeah.
How do we then look at like what's truly of like I guess you can say a religious responsibility when it comes to how we operate and balancing budgeting and all of that? Is there anything that the word says about a person who squanders, a person who does not have the capability of saving, so on and so forth?
Well, with the saving part, yes, you gotta be of a certain caliber for that. You gotta, yeah, you gotta be a certain caliber for that. But that doesn't mean you can't get somebody and bring them to church and work with them, talk to them, in your own way, and navigate them to get saved or reconcile their relationship with the Lord. So even though you're not actually a minister or a pastor or a bishop, you know, whatever title it is, doesn't mean that Smitty can't go and be like, "Hey, bro, I've been going to church, bro. I feel like you should come with me one day." And then bring them to church or bring them to the pastor and be like, look, bro, look, I was going down this road. Once I got saved and reconciled my relationship with the Lord, bro, I've been on this path and I've been going down this path, and it's been working out for me. I see you going through a lot of hard times. How about you try this? And if he gets reconciled or he gets saved, then guess what? You have you have completed the mission, bro. Because when we look at the lost sheep parable, which is in Matthew 17, no, Matthew 18. It's 18. Let me look. Forgiving servant. Oh, yeah. Matthew 18, verse 13. So Matthew 18, verse 13 says, no, we gonna go to 12 and then 13. 12 says, what do you think? If a man has 100 sheep and one of them goes astray, does he not leave the 99 and go to the mountains to seek the one that is straying? And if he should find it, as surely I say to you, he rejoices more over that one sheep, than over the 99 that did not go astray. You understand? Do you understand what that means?
I'm right here. Yes, I actually do get that concept. So yeah.
Yeah. So so he will be more pleased in you bringing a person who is of the world, who is a sinner, back to his flock, than it is for you to just go to church and bingle with a whole bunch of people who are already saved. So this is why he's referring to him as that. You you held it, but you ain't do nothing with it. You ain't go find nobody and bring them back. You ain't go find another person and double this talent that I gave you. So if we look at the one with the 5 talents, we can be like, okay, he went out there, he he went out, he was credited something, he went out there and he found more people and brought them back. If we just using the talents as people, you see what I'm saying?
Facts. No, that's a fact.
So is more it is more pleasing to the Lord for us to use the abilities that He has given us. Is basically the bottom line. It is more pleasing for us to use the abilities that He given us, not to sit and bury the abilities, and being afraid and lazy and not using them. And then look what he did to that one. He took it from him. Therefore, take the talent from him and give it to him who has 10 talents. For to everyone who has more will be given, and he will have abundance. But him who does not have, even what he has will be taken away. So you're gonna be stripped of all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna be stripped of that. And when my aunt was reading this, um, First Lady was reading this, I instantly thought about Samson. Now here's Samson, here's a guy who was granted the abilities from the Lord, right? Samson seen stuff that the Lord was not pleased with. He chased behind those things, and then with him not, hey, with him not using those abilities how he was supposed to, he ends up losing those abilities.
Like
He
his
has,
hair.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. His abilities was the strength, right?
Okay. Okay.
What did the Lord ask Samson to do?
Get rid of Delilah.
Well, not just her. He wanted all of them gone.
Yeah, I do remember
S-
that much. My bad for not quoting it right.
no, you good. Samson, what job was to wipe all of them out, but instead he did the opposite. So now when we look at this part, we can understand why he lost everything now, because he did not do what he was supposed to do with it. He squandered his moment with his abilities, with his talent.
Right. I
So the
see what
Lord,
you.
so the Lord stripped him of all that, and even down to the part where it says cast the unprofitable servant into the outer darkness, there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. When we look at all the stuff that Samson had to go through, he was blind. He was treated less than the pack mule. Some would say he had the same job as a pack mule. And then look what happens to him. He dies. Even though the Lord granted him that one last umph, he still died at the end of that.
Hmm. I see what you're saying. So it still was demise.
It
So
still
is it
was
more so
demise.
of like, is that like sometimes the road to hell is paved through good intentions? No, that's not the same.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just
yeah.
asking again.
No, no,
I'm
cause
asking
I
to
don't want
learn.
to. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I don't want to give you the wrong information. So I'm thinking of a
just
way
give me
I
a
can
better
answer the.
example if that wasn't the best. Yeah, just give me a
No, no,
better
no, no, no.
example.
I got you. Um, I want. I do want to say. Yes. I do want to say yes because even though, okay, and I'm gonna say it like this, and I hope this answers your question. I
Okay.
can go I can go through this world, right? We know that the commandments given is don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal, don't kill nobody. Um um hold on, mom. I'm a have them answer that 1 second. Um, but we know, like you know what I'm saying, like don't have idols and stuff like that. So say I did all those things, right? I did all those things, but I never once acknowledged the Lord as being my savior, acknowledging the Lord as for dying for my sins, and I
I see
didn't.
what you're saying.
Yeah, so I did all that right, but I didn't give my life to the Lord. All that I did was pointless because at the end of the day, I still faced I still faced hell because I never gave my life to the Lord. I never settled that account that I had with the Lord. So I hope that's answering your question, because I think that's how you was phrasing it, well,
Yes.
referring to.
No, no, no. It actually did. It actually did. I don't know. I think you said Mama
Yeah.
X was saying something before I go. Yeah, because this is about that time I got to get ready to offer for night.
Okay. Yeah. She
Yeah.
says, please say that against informs. Please say that again. I think she's asking you to say it again. What's your
Which
question?
which? Oh, asking me my question.
Yeah.
Shoot. What was my question, bruh? What did you just respond to? Because that'll help me. That'll help me.
um.
Yeah, because we
My
get to
righteous,
going.
my me, you being righteous will will still end in demise or something, something
Um,
something similar to that. Ah, man. I c-
you would literally have to play the tape back on that
yeah,
one,
I
bro.
already say I gotta play the
Yeah,
tape,
mama, you
man.
just gonna have to play the rewind on that. I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting up there. I'm slowly but surely. Uh, shoot. Yeah, I can't remember, bro. I was trying so hard because I did want to at least go ahead and end off with that one right there, but I can't remember it. And I'm gonna
um
get ready to go ahead and take care of that. Nah, but what was you saying? What was you saying real quick? I'm listening.
um so hold on, I'm almost there.
Just trying to figure out exactly what you were saying, bro. If you can pull that up, I got you, no problem.
Okay, sometimes the yeah, sometimes the road of hell is paved through good intentions. That what you said.
Yes, I was basically asking, thank you for that. I was asking, is that basically what you were explaining with Samson? Is that the same as, I was asking Mama, is that the same as the road to hell is paved with good intentions? Basically the demise of Samson. That's where I was. There we go. Thank you for that, brother.
Gotcha, I gotcha.
So yeah, listen, I'm gonna keep on listening a little bit, stuff like that. I gotta wash up, I do what I gotta do. I
Already,
appreciate you, bro, all day. Thank you very much, man.
already,
And I'm
already,
always
bro.
come back, bro. You know how we do. We support each
Yeah,
other, native,
yes,
all
sir, yes,
day.
sir, yes, sir. I
Respect,
appreciate.
respect.
All right. Shouts out to Smitty for popping up. Giving us that good question. That was a good question he had, and 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 um and yes, like we may mean well. We may mean well, but it's not. It's more than just meaning well. Is It's more than just meaning well. We have to work. We have to work, and the road of righteousness is like I said before. It's not a 40-yard dash. It's not me sprinting from here to there. It's a marathon. It's cross country marathon at that. We're facing different obstacles and all that, and and we have to have that endurance. We have to have that patience. We have to have that faithfulness. We have Yes. Yep. Yep. Where you listen to yourself rather than God. Exactly, ma. Where you put your and this is why Proverbs says, lean not on your own understanding, and always acknowledge the Lord, that he shall direct your path. Uh um So back to this parable, back to the parable, because we're not too far off. We actually right there. Um, with this parable, what is showing us, is that one, we had to have that faith. Two, not only that, we have to have faith, that we have to work. We have to work, no matter how hard it may seem, no matter how difficult it may look. We have to continue striving. We have to continue working. The Lord gave each individual a set amount of talents to their to for them, because he knew how many to give out. So the Lord is going to give you stuff, but he's only going to give you the stuff that you're able to manage. He's only going to give you the amount of stuff that you're able to manage. So if so and this goes to my mother. I remember me and my mother had a conversation, and and she was asking about her ministry, and was it wrong for her to focus on her ministry only, if that's what the Lord put on your heart. If the Lord put that on your heart to focus on your ministry, then that's what you focus on. It's not about quantity. It's not about quantity. It's never about quantity. Some people may have more than you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If they have more than you, then that means the Lord gifted them with being able to manage those things. But if you have this one thing, you manage what he gave you. You manage what he gave you. You make that the best of your abilities. If your ability says that you are to focus on this ministry and not focus on several different ministries, then you make that ministry the best ministry you can possibly make it. If he tells you to focus solely on this, don't worry about nothing else. And then watch how once you manage that and you get to that, watch how then you'll be able to be in other ministries and manage other ministries as well. Now your quantity will start increasing because you're able to manage what he's giving you. So it's not about quantity, it's about quality. Every tree every tree that bears fruit, if it's a apple tree, if it's a orange, if it's strawberries, a strawberry bush, whatever it is, they produce good and they produce bad. No tree ever produced 100% perfect fruit. So it's never about the quantity. Even though this apple tree may have this might be the biggest apple tree with the most fruit that anybody's ever seen. It's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. And this is what the two understood was that I was gifted something. I must use what he gave me to the best of my abilities, and the best of my abilities I was able to double it. But if you're like the one person who gains these abilities and you don't use it, then what's the purpose of having it? Let me go ahead and take that from you and let me give this to somebody else. Let me give the person who's able to manage stuff, let me give it to him. And that like I said, that goes to each and every one of us who know this word and study this word, but we don't put forth the effort to use the word and how it's supposed to be used. If we take it and we just and knowing that this world is in darkness, we got this light, and we take it, we hide the light to ourselves. We don't share the light. Um, what else? What else? What else? What else we got? What else we got? Uh, I think that's it. I think that might be it. I think we touched on everything. I think we touched on everything. Uh, the Lord settling accounts. The Lord giving us the talents. We touched on the national. We've been in national teeth. Smitty was in here. Yeah, I don't know. I think that might be it. I think that might be it. Um, but all in all, this was a good parable because now because now what this parable does, it holds us accountable for our actions, for our abilities. It holds us accountable. It's times where where a person might come up and you can see they on bad times, and you think that this person is just coming up to you and venting about their problems. the whole time the Lord is sending that person to you for a reason. He's sending that person to you so that you can you know give him the word. Give him the word. Give him that the knowledge that you have, with whether it be in testimony or whether it be in a Bible verse or something like that. you know you're giving him hope. You're giving him reassurance. you know and you can't do that by taking this word or these talents or abilities and burying them in the ground. You burying them within yourself. You can't. You're not gonna be able to help people like that. So it be times where you might see something and you don't say nothing. Then when you look back at it, was like, oh, I should have said something to this person. Because then we don't know where that person could have went at, or what could have happened if you had did that. So it kind of shines a light on us. It kind of shines a light on us that we can do better. We can always do better. We can always um double our talents depending on where we're at, what we're doing. Who may need help, who may not need help. You know, because we're gonna have to settle that account. So I hope I hope I explained this well. Uh, I know it's not exactly how First Lady explained it on Tuesday, but I hope I explained it well, and I hope y'all got something from it. Shouts out to Smitty for coming in, rocking out with us. Shouts out to my mama, love you, mama. Shouts out to brother Soap coming in for his brief moment, kicking it with us. Shouts out to everybody else in the back. This another one in the books. We have one more parable. We have one more parable. Um, we have one more parable left. I don't even know what I wrote right here. What did I write? I don't even know what I wrote. I wrote that's crazy. I wrote something I can't even read my own handwriting. Oh, jeez. Um. Oh, jeez. Matthew 21. Let's see if I can look it up real quick. I think we covered. The next parable is Matthew 21, 18. Oh, okay. All right, I know what it is. So the next the next parable is the parable of the burned fig tree, which is in Matthew chapter 21 verses 18 to 22. Okay, so the burned fig tree, the parable of the burned fig tree, and that's 18 chapter Matthew chapter 21 verse 18 to 22. Okay, so that's the last parable. I appreciate everybody rocking with me through these parables. If you missed any, please go back and watch the Bible studies. Please go back and watch the Bible study recaps and get caught up on the parables. We had so many good parables. We had the seed and the sower. We had the unforgiving servant. We had the lost sheep. We had the mustard tree. We had the parable of the rich man and the poor man. We had the parable of the wedding banquet, not the wedding banquet, the great banquet. We had the parable of the wedding. Yeah, it was the wedding banquet. It was two banquets. We had the great banquet and the wedding banquet. We had the parable of no, my fault, not the wedding banquet. We had the parable of the 10 virgins. The wedding banquet was in the parable of the 10 virgins. We had the parable of the rich fool, and now we just covered the parable of the talents. So we had quite a few parables. Oh, the parable of the wineskins. The parable of the wineskin. The good wine. The parable of the good wineskin and the old wineskin. I knew I was missing one. So we had quite a few parables that we've been doing for the last couple months. Like a month and a half now, maybe 2 months. So y'all go and check those out. Check those out. They were some good ones. Sister Jones and Jamie. Oh, I ain't know Jamie was giving. I ain't my fault. Nope, we got 2 more. I don't know if I ain't gonna cap. I don't know if LJ gonna show back up. We gonna pray for LJ to show back up, but yeah, I don't know if he gonna show up. I would like for him to come and show up, but I don't know. I don't know about that one. But we got 2 more. My fault. We got not one more. We got 2 more. We got Sister Jones and we got Brother Jamie. So I hope I did a good job breaking this down for y'all. I hope y'all understood. Let's go ahead and end off with some wonderful music. Let's get some wonderful music in. Shouts out again for everybody that came in. I'll catch y'all tomorrow, Lord willing, for faith and growth. And that's it.
In the silence of the night, we gather here with hearts open wide, our voices clear. The angel song, a symphony divine.